Hey everyone, this is Wei and welcome back. Let's do another animal drawing, and this time we'll be drawing the rhino. So let's get started and I'll talk about the process along the way. With these kind of animals, it's best to just kind of rough in a shape. So I'm gonna try to simplify. Let's go like a box almost. You kind of see this. This is leg. Here's his tummy. Okay. There's a little hump on the back right here. And it goes all the way to the front. Here's this other leg, and then it's got a little hump here, and this kind of goes straight down, and the head's gonna be here. Okay, so do you see this shape right here? So that's kind of, this is like roughly his body. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this, and then let's just keep going. And then his head, really odd shape. When you look at this, they're really strange looking. Okay, so here's the tummy and goes all the way down. Kind of his head past his tummy line a little bit. So again, just regular measuring, just kind of trying to use whatever you can to measure. So if I could go right across right here, kind of hits the tip of the mouth a little bit. Where the right here is nostril. So that kind of gives me a rough idea. Proportions and stuff, and then go, let's say his legs right around here, and then how far does it go down? Well, it's kind of like I can measure these angles, like from the tummy area. If I go straight down like this, it's kind of this angle. So now I know it's gonna go somewhere right here, right? Just roughly. And then the hind legs, anything on the back is really easy to do. So I'm just gonna do something like that. I don't want to go into too much detail. All right, let's rough in the hind legs. Okay, so it kind of goes over like this, and then how far it goes down, it looks like there's a slight slant, so it's probably reaching somewhere over here, and it's got this odd shape too. Let's see, it's got this little bump right here. I guess it's joint, right? All right, something like that, and then it's the one behind. That's easy, so I'm just gonna rough it in like that. All right, and his tail, let's not do that. Okay, tummy, hump on the back. All right, let's go back to the head. So I think we got part of the body roughed in. So just like, start with the big shapes and then slowly narrow it down. Okay, I'm going into details, but let's not do that. All right, his ear is really weird. Looks like it's coming up here, right? Comes over like this, and then here's another one. All right, and then his mouth, not his mouth, I mean his head. All right, I kind of divide up into maybe a little bit of sections here. Here, and then his horn, his middle is kind of starts in the middle. It's one horn, and then it's got the bigger one, kind of arcs like this. All right, so I kind of took the midpoint of the head, and that's kind of where it looks like, where this horn started, and that's how I did that. And then the eye is right around, same area right around here, okay? So, and he's got his big nostrils here. All right, so that's kind of roughing in. I mean, I think it's fairly accurate. I mean, obviously there's gonna be little adjustments we can do along the way. Looks like I made his body a little bit too small, but let's just go with it because it doesn't really matter, as much, because the shading part is really fun. There's a lot of interesting shapes going on. So maybe I can adjust for the head and actually make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, that's a good idea. As opposed to making the whole body bigger. All right, let's just go with that. All right, so where should we start? All right, let's just start at the head, because normally I like to start on the left side because my hand won't get in the way, but let's do the head because it's really cool shaped. All right, so I'm just gonna start shading, and here I'm just gonna put in a little bit harder lines, and I'm using a 6B, so it's very dark, very soft. And I'm sorry about my voice. I know I probably sound really weird right now, and I'm a little bit under the weather, so it's kind of got this nasally pitch to it, and hopefully I don't cough too much. Alright, so here's some folds. Let's see. I'm trying to get the big folds. You see this little lump right here, right? This little lump here, and there's another one here. This kind of sinks in a little bit. So I'm just trying to identify, looks like this bulges out a little bit. Okay. And then this goes to the other side, to the other ear. And then the shading is, the lighting's from the top, so everything facing downward will have more shading. And the shading is pretty washed out here. I mean, there is some shadow, like the ear right here. See, this shadow goes all the way to the back. So you can actually outline that, just to show you, that's where the shadow is. All right, so a little bit more shading here. I'm just trying to visualize the forms, and it looks like there's some terminators here, but it's kind of washed out. There's a lot of fill light. There's other lights that kind of comes in and kind of gets rid of, fills in a lot of shadows. So everything looks a little washed out. All right, so let's draw the eye. See, it's right here. It's dark, and then it's got these bags around his eye, right? Almost like circular shape because it's kind of bulging outward a little bit. And there's a lot of little creases and stuff going on here, like cracks, almost look like cracks. The skin. But I'm gonna try to ignore that for now. All right, so you see how the shading is. It's very simple. Just trying to recognize the shapes at this point, because that's really part of the challenge of something like this, is to be able to, recognize the form and draw it. Especially with this kind of lighting, and everything's kind of washed out. All right, so this is dark. This is dark right here. It's a little bump here, all right? You can kind of see that in the lighting. And then his horn, really cool looking. Looks like it's been through a lot of battles, or just a lot of chipping. Right? It's very rough. I try not to draw the textures right now, because we might mistake it for a shadow. Alright, so I'm going down. Let's see, to the nostrils. Nostrils are very dark. It goes in. And I come up. This is like a little bulge right here, like almost like a flap that kind of comes down, comes out. And this lower edge right here, it's kind of darker, right? Because light is from the top, so we can just kind of flick it like this. It's a very useful technique, just little flicks like this. See, it gives a nice, darker edge on the bottom. Very useful, especially for smaller drawings like this, where you can, really utilize the your strokes as shading. Okay, so that's kind of coming along. It's not too dark. I mean, it's still kind of very light. If I go in again, do another pass at it, but just kind of showing you how, some really simple way of shading and cross hatching. Trying to identify the forms. Here's the bulge right here, so I'm gonna make this a little bit darker. Okay, and then we gotta move over, and yeah, let's just keep going then. It's kind of weird because I'm working from right to left, so it's a little bit strange to me. Kind of like working from the left to right. So because right now, my hand is like over the head, so it's like it's not. I have to kind of avoid putting my hand over that area. Or I can cover it with a piece of paper, but then you guys can't see, so that's not cool. All right. So the body, I mean, it's more the same like the head. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this with a speed drawing, so I don't have to talk so much. It's kind of hard on my throat right now. I'm really sorry for my voice, and I'll finish this with a speed drawing, and I'll be right back to show you how it looks. Alright, I'm back, and here's my final drawing for this Rhino. And yeah, obviously I think the proportion I kind of messed up. Yeah, the head was too big, and I think the body looks a little short. I mean, overall there's some issues with the proportion. I probably should have paid a little bit more attention when I was sketching this at first. But you know, overall it's a really fun drawing to do. Let's see, hold on, I'm just seeing the little things right here that I just can't stand. Alright, so like this, there's actually a lot of little shadings going on, and the shading is very subtle. And you know, it took me a while to try to find, you know, where the Terminator is, you know, like where the light's falling off. And it kind of runs all the way around here, goes around here, and it comes back up here, you know. So if you have like kind of consistent line right here that's kind of darker as the light fall off, you know, it'll give it a nice volume to this. And I know it's very subtle, and you know, it takes a while to shade, and I kind of have to like squint my eyes a lot, you know, on the reference, just so I can see all those little, you know, bumps and stuff. It's a little maddening, and because I am not drawing too big. Well, actually, that's a good thing, or else I'll be, you know, shading a lot longer. But overall, let's see some other things to keep in mind. Is the little contrast in the edge right here, like underneath. Right here and on the back right here, there's a little bounce lighting. That's why it's white and it goes against the dark. And even like right here, you know, there's a little bit of bounce lighting, and this kind of stuff really helps to bring out the form, you know, the geometry, you know, just the structure of this whole Rhino. So just kind of keep it in mind of that. And there's a lot of that stuff going on, you know. I mean, like even on the folds right here, there's a little bit of bounce lighting, and those are a little harder to see and a little bit more tedious to shade, so I kind of skipped through a little bit of that. But you know, for the major ones, yeah, definitely hit that, you know, because by having that, this whole leg just kind of comes forward, so it's very dynamic looking. But other than that, I mean, it's very rough again. I made the edges right here really dark, I mean, just to give it a little bit more weight, you know, because you know, line quality, you know, the darker you make the lines, you know, the more heavier it feels, and it seems kind of appropriate for this kind of subject, so that's kind of why I did that. And I'll talk about line quality stuff more on other videos. But overall, yeah, this is a very fun drawing. You know, it's just very loose. You don't have to be too precise, and you know, you just kind of get in there and shade. So you know, have a little bit of fun with this kind of stuff, because it really helps to loosen you up and really start to, you know, focus on the bigger picture and work on your skills at the same time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, please do give me a thumbs up. And I'm sorry about my voice, I'm getting better, so alright, I'll see you next time.